Hey, Julie. Nice to have you
So
here. How are you doing? How's Bali going?
very good. Oh my God, so happy to be here and so happy to finally connect. I
That's
mean, our story, how we kind of like came together is also like crazy again, but we're coming to that later, I guess.
we will
um,
definitely. We will
yeah,
definitely.
Bali's going great. How's Germany?
Good. Finally, some sun. I'm happy again. I really see how my mood depends from the weather. It's crazy. I've been better in Mexico, but it's Germany. You know how it is. Better
Oh,
and worse.
yeah, we love that. Maybe you should give a quick introduction to our viewers. So today we're going to be doing a little podcast on like different topics. I'm here with Alex. He's from Germany. He's an entrepreneur, has done several years of e-commerce, also in the creative space. And that's kind of how we connected, like through Instagram. And we found a lot of topics that we shared, like common interest. So yeah, we decided to come together, do a little podcast, and give you guys hopefully a lot of valuable insights today.
That's it. Thanks for the intro, you Julie. For my audience, Julie is a very professional creator in the high quality industry and the travel industry. Has been working with big brands, with beautiful destinations. Has been has been traveling around a lot, and is now living on Bali. And yeah,
At
so
least
we
over the
were
summer.
at least. So we were connecting and talking a lot about our journey. Julie, how is it for
Wow.
you? And which phase are you currently in your entrepreneurship? And how have you been developing in the last couple of months and years?
Good question. I feel like right now is like a reinventing phase. So I've been traveling like so much over the last couple of months, and this is like the first time I'm actually like staying in one place for a bit longer, which gives me a lot of time to think about like my goals and where I want to go with this career path, which niches I might want to branch into. Also, like entrepreneurship wise, like maybe some digital products or other business strategies, because I feel like I'm interested in like so many things, not only filmmaking, that I kind of want to focus on that also and just like give it a try and see how it goes. And yeah, that's kind of the phase I'm currently in. Like I kind of quit my social life in Bali now, and I'm gonna lock myself in for the next couple of weeks and just like work.
Love it, love it. That's so important just to look in and try new things. It's actually a question for you. How do you feel about when you think of maybe switching business wise or entering new areas? Do you feel like you're able to do it, or do you feel pressured of the opinions of others? Like, oh, she's just a filmmaker. She should stay in this branch, in this industry. Do you feel you're free and open to do it, or how do you feel about that?
I feel like that's like one thing that kept me very long time from actually doing it, because it's like you have this image of yourself and like the way people perceive you online on Instagram. I recently made a post on this actually, where I was like saying that I want people to perceive me as a filmmaker,
Yes.
but it's like your personality is like so much more than that. And I feel like I was struggling a lot with like accepting that fact that there's so many more opportunities and my whole character is not like identified with this filmmaking character, which is definitely a big part of me, but there's just like so many more ways to like get creative and like go into like the workspace and industry overall. I don't know, how did you get into e-commerce? I feel like you never told me that, but you have like a pretty long e-commerce journey, right?
That's true. Actually, we were super bored in pandemic, and then my best friend and me, we were like, we should start something, because also we were not on the track of going out drinking anymore. Like all my ex friends from university, all they had in mind was like partying, drinking, getting drunk, and again. And we didn't see like any sense in it, and so we started off with drop shipping, like I think everybody does. And then after a long period of time, a long period of work, we built up not personal brand. We built our own brand, which is also in Germany. And this is how it came to, like, we just tried out. We never expected something big, just went to with the flow. And now that's 4 years ago already.
That's crazy. How long did it take you to like properly like understand the tactics behind it?
At least 1.5 years.
Wow.
Because,
Okay.
yeah. And I got to say, like, we invested already in a mentor and a coach. Like, we started off with Manjeet, official Rich Team, who's super successful. And I mean, he showed us especially how to push through. Like, e-commerce is a numbers game. You just try out creatives, ads, landing pages, products. And this, like, we learned a lot of resilience. And then we had Sebastian Zalinski, as a
Mm-hmm.
coach, who really went with us into the creative framework, marketing, like how to get all the leads, how to get all the sales. And we took literally a year to find the perfect ad, the perfect creative. And there
Mm-hmm.
was a time where we were so lost and so overworked that I don't know if it was a burnout, but it already felt like it, because I came back to Germany with no money, super broke, mentally broke and exhausted. And I slept like almost 20 hours
Wow.
and I felt great after that. Like I felt so good. And I
Yeah,
was
like
like,
honestly, rest is so important. Like even if you have intense work phases, it's
yeah,
crazy important.
yeah, that's so true. So I don't know about that, but it took us a long time. The cool thing is, once you break through this wall of trying out the things, you know how it works. So in this state of life, I can just take all the learnings, apply to another industry, to another case, to another project, and boom, off it goes. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was 1.5 years of like super pain, but I think it pays out.
Yeah, and even this like marketing part goes into so many different other areas, probably like for personal branding, for other brands you might be building. So
There's
that's
something I've been observing, especially in Germany and with creators, like people don't understand marketing. It's
mm-hmm.
like oxygen for the companies, like you need it to breathe. If you don't have marketing, nobody will see it or see you, your product, your service. Nobody will ever consider you. Nobody will buy from you. So if you really want to achieve something, you really need marketing, because there are people spending years and years and millions of dollars and efforts into creating the best product, the best service. But like Julie, if you would hide your service beneath your couch in Bali and I'm in Germany, like how would I ever know from that service, right?
Yeah,
But
literally. I feel
you're
like in the creative industry, like I feel like there's so many talented people and creatives, but not many people know how to properly like network and like market themselves, and that's why they struggle to like find clients. Like I get so many messages from like people who are like asking me, how do you sustain this lifestyle and like get so many different clients like all across the world? And I feel like most of it is literally networking and like working on like a social media presence. That's like the
all right.
most important things, and also not the kind of followers, because some people ask me like we have a similar following, but I don't get to travel, or like people who have like a massive following like 200K, and I'm like I wouldn't even say I'm big on Instagram. Like 36K or something is nothing nowadays if you compare it to like big numbers, I would say. But it's like about the quality of followers, so like who follows you, then
Absolutely.
how many
Absolutely.
people.
This is why we never used influencer campaigns in
Mm-hmm.
e-commerce, because everybody's flexing with like, oh, I have 500K followers, I have 1 million followers, you should work with me. And I'm like, no way I'm going to work with you, because we don't know the quality of your followers. Your followers might be under 16 or under 18, can't buy,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not like the target group. They don't have the pain. They're just following you because of other reasons. So it's better to have like maybe you 20, 30K super high quality followers than 100K random people following you
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know why, you know? So this
Yeah, I
one's
mean nowadays there's ways to analyze it probably, but just like to a certain extent, I guess. And people can
yeah,
always tell you whatever, like, and
Yeah.
And these media kits, yeah, you can just like fake
Right.
insights or use them from another month or whatever. It's crazy
That
industry.
that's the point. But in the end, like, I mean, I'm in both bubbles, like the creator bubble and the e-commerce bubble, and it's so funny how like the creators always flex with how many followers they have, and everybody thinks like, oh, they must be so well off, like
Hmm.
financially.
Hmm.
But then you look at the numbers, and some friends they have like 1,000, 2,000 followers, but they make like 50 or 100K a month just because they know who they are attracting, what they are posting, how the funnel is working. So this like funny, people think the more followers you have, the richer you are, but
Hmm.
that's like the biggest bullshit on the market. That's
Would
like
you say in the Instagram space, like people who have like less followers but do like Instagram deals, or like just like different business types?
business types, different ones. Yeah,
Okay, fair.
yeah. Because
Yeah, I mean,
they know how to like strategize and use this platform
hmm.
well, and they don't like go on the flex, but they go more on the strategy. They use
Hmm.
this as a tool, not as a like Pinterest board to
Hmm.
inspire people.
I literally I started seeing Instagram differently, also like in that kind
Perfect.
of way, like just recently. Like I feel like in the creative space, it's like you always want to put out the best of your work, and you always have like so many high expectations on yourself that like, for example, I personally I stopped posting for like 3 months because I just had so much perfectionism, and I felt like none of my posts could like achieve that level of perfectionism I have for myself. And
For a
it's like
minute.
you always have to be better and better, and the next post has to be better. And like that's honestly that's not how it works. But like
That's
Instagram definitely has like so many powerful ways to like reach people and build a community. It's insane.
it
Like
is.
even we met through Instagram.
That's the point, like through a random story. And
Yeah.
also like the quality thing. I mean, perfectionism is a big thing. I also might love to be perfectionist when it comes to like video and my own stuff.
Mhm.
But I've also learned from the e-commerce and my business partner who's like super not perfectionist, but like just a doer. It's
Mhm.
way more important just to do the things with 30% quality, 40% quality than waiting years for the perfect video, for the perfect post. Because what I've seen in e-commerce, it's so crazy. Like one time back then, like 2 years ago, I was like, hey, we should do a super high quality ad, which will convert better. And then I was like super convinced and we made a lot of effort. And then we tested it against like a super whack quality video,
Mhm.
UGC one. And Facebook decided the UGC one was way better. Like people just would buy with the like low quality video. I'm like, what the fuck? And then
Seriously, yeah.
I realized like it's not about the quality. Sure, you need to maintain a certain quality,
Mhm.
but like don't exaggerate and wait years or months to have the perfect thing because it will not be perfect if you don't have the perfect strategy. You
So you're
always,
saying authenticity works the best on Instagram?
always,
Yeah,
always,
for sure.
always.
I think people nowadays have seen so much like perfect picture places and things.
That's
Nobody
the
wants to see
point.
that anymore, right?
That's the point. But how is it with you? You were telling me like your whole view on Instagram changed. You weren't posting anymore, and in general, it's like super exhausting with clients. How have you experienced this whole client thing? Because I mean, I've been getting my money 89% from e-commerce, and
Mhm.
if I get some clients, I do it because I really want to. Like I'm not seeking them. How's it for you as a BD creator traveling?
I would say the projects I'm currently doing are like 99% of them are really, really fun,
I
and
hear.
I truly enjoy them. And I want to put in like my best of my like the best I can. And because I enjoy traveling, it's like genuinely one of my biggest passions. So it's really cool, but I kind of like want to branch out from that and like focus on digital products. Like I feel like there's so many ways to like expand this kind of business side of things that I don't want to be forced to like do these client shoots. I want to do them because I really want to, but like right now it's like I'm doing client shoots for sure to sustain my living. It is fun for me, but I don't want to like not for the logic of like having to do client shoots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Have you? Do you mind? Oppa, Siri came on.
Nice.
Do you sometimes do you sometimes feel like that there's some contradictions in yourself, like of not wanting to do something but you have to do, which creates like weird energy or like low frequency in yourself?
I think, yeah, for sure. Like sometimes there's like just like things you have to do, like tax stuff, for example, like all this organizational stuff. It's like the stuff that has to be done, but it's like it's annoying. But like when it comes to like projects, for sure, I've done stuff that wasn't like 100% fun, where I've been asking myself like, even for a couple of days, like what am I actually doing here? And I feel like once you start getting into this energy, like you start thinking more negatively once you like don't enjoy something, like an activity to a certain extent. So I think it's like really important to prioritize the things you're truly passionate about and like not take this one job just for the money. Like it might be good pay, but if it's not fun for like 10 days, then like
Yeah,
why would you do it?
that's true. And I mean, short term it might be not a huge problem, but like long term, if you do this over and over, you will notice this in your body. I don't know if you ever experienced this, but we did with the e-commerce. Like, I mean, we've raised or we did like 3 million in revenue. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
great, and people are like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" And for sure, it's cool because it allows us to live how we're living and the whole lifestyle. But sometimes you're like, I don't really enjoy doing this and that, because in the end, it was like a fun project in the pandemic, but it's not that it's like super aligned with my, like, it is aligned with my values, but not with my passions, like the deepest passions, you know?
I get
So
that, yeah.
I think many people should also watch out for this. Like, they seek out the money, but then lost themselves in this search.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might come out of it, but maybe you don't. You don't.
For sure. Yeah, I feel
So,
like there's always going to be things you don't want to do, and that's like part of every beautiful business. Like, can be anything you're passionate about, like
correct.
such fun projects, but like there's always something annoying about it you just have to do. And like overcoming that is also a beautiful thing because you learn so many new things along the way, even if it's like kind of annoying.
That's so true. That's so true. I think this generation that is coming is like looking also for something which they absolutely love. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people that try to do their own thing, but then don't succeed because they don't want to go into the pain of trying out the new things or doing the things you have to do in order to do the things you want to do. Um, but it's so essential. And also, like, if you fear failure, which not is not existing for me, you shouldn't do anything. Like, you have to love the process of failing and learning and always doing things you don't want to do, experience things you don't want to experience, because in the end, it's all about the person you become
For
to
sure.
do things, and it's, I think, the most important.
Yeah,
Is
the
what
journey is the way. It's like a balance of like good and bad things. And to be honest, I feel like we couldn't even embrace the good moments as much if we didn't have the hard moments as well, like the long nights and yeah,
that's it. That's like when there are no lows, there are no highs. Completely. How do you
exactly.
balance yourself? Would you say you're balanced in your life currently?
Oh my God. So I'm a Libra. I told you that earlier.
No.
So I'm supposed to be balanced, but I think right now is probably the first time I've been like properly kind of balanced since like a really long time because I
Perfect.
focus on like a routine and like stayed in one place for longer. So now I'm feeling definitely mentally and emotionally in balance, but over the last couple of months, it has definitely not been like that because traveling just doesn't really allow you to build a certain like routine and habits you do day to day. How do you feel about that? Especially because you're like also like bouncing around between like Mexico and Germany and other places, Cape Town.
Yeah, true. No, I mean, I think I'm at the same point as you. Like, this is what I was looking for. Last year, I was traveling a lot and also escaping a lot with the
Hmm.
travel. Like instead of just getting some cookies, it was just booking a flight and trying to see if the problems disappear, but they don't.
So easy.
Right. Um, but no, like I feel this is what I was establishing now in Mexico City. I had my routine. Um, I had a personal trainer. I was forced. I wanted to go to the gym, but I was like extra pushed to go to the gym. Through the gym, I had a super good nutrition. I ate well, healthy. I had my co-working space, my friends, my cousins. So it was like super balanced. Sometimes maybe more balanced into free time and just enjoying life because, yeah, life is good there. But it's super good that you also like, you told me you wanted to stay in Bali longer for just establishing that routine. And I really think this is like so essential, like a routine, something stable, because your body and your mind gets so exhausted if you always change your surroundings. You will never like adapt, you never chill. And I feel like right now I'm not perfectly balanced because still like in Germany I'm traveling around
Hmm.
and I won't be here for long. But this will be my goal from July, August to the end of the year, just to establish one perfect routine, which
Hmm.
will get the best out of me. That's for
That's
sure.
honestly sick. Like, I feel like even when you're traveling, building a routine in different places and just like staying there for longer is probably the best way to, first of all, experience the country and then also like
Yeah.
mentally for yourself. So
Yeah.
I could not agree more. Time to
Yeah.
get to Cape Town.
That's so true. When are you going to Cape Town again?
Probably December till February. We're doing like another creative party on New Year's Eve and like then just like living there for a couple months.
Nice. I might
You should
join you
come.
then. Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
will. I was going to Cape Town actually this January. And this is where also, now that we are talking about routine and balance, I had to say no because I was in Colombia in December, went to Germany to pick up my mom, and then we flew to Mexico together. And then from Mexico, I came back to Germany. And back in Germany, I did like 1 week. So after Germany, I was going to fly back to Colombia. And in this week, a friend was like, Alex, we should go to the Cape Town just for some days.
For some
I'm like,
days. What do you
yeah,
mean?
that's the life, like just random, spontaneous. And I'm like, oh, we should definitely do that. But I was like, no, I can't do it. Like, yes, but no, because I've been traveling around. I need some days off. Not even off, but like just to chill. And I've seen like if I just travel to travel around, I don't get anything from it because I'm just stressed. I have to work. It's super stressful. Like if you try to see Cape Town in a couple of days, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a fun time, but I've seen when I work, I want to work. But when I travel, I want to travel. And not like this mixed up stuff where it's like here and there super, I don't know, complicated because focus is also something I need to consider. Like
Yeah,
I
like
really,
either stay in one place for longer, build a routine there, or just like fully embrace the travel, but not
right.
like run to a place and like I feel like
All right.
dopamine is also such a huge thing in this. Like with traveling connected. I don't know. Have you ever like felt like you're just like chasing after dopamine for like a while and like didn't think like properly about your decisions because of like chasing the dopamine?
I think it was less, yeah, maybe. But for me, in the first place, it wasn't dopamine, but maybe escaping the boredom or some other stuff. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, now in Germany, I've been looking for dopamine, like, oh, I'm going to see friends here, I'm going to see friends there, project there. So I was
Hmm.
like, boom, driving through Germany. But since last year, I was like, when I had like a difficult situation, I didn't seek dopamine, but like seek to escape this situation with
Okay.
another flight, another place. And then every time I got to another country, I was like, shit, it's the same. And then I was like, damn, I should fly back to Germany or Bali or Colombia or Mexico. And then I realized like it's not about the outside, like it's like always your inside, which you have to control and to repair
Hmm.
so you can enjoy the outside. This is
Fully
what I.
agree.
How about you with the dopamine? Have you been traveling because of that, or?
Partially, for sure. I
Yep.
feel like at some point I just like got super addicted to dopamine just because like one exciting experience after the other, especially when I started like touring with the DJs like 2 years ago. And we were like in a different country every single day and then like flying around. And on the one hand, it's super stressful, but you get used to that. But you also have like so many new impressions all the time. And I feel like your body also gets like used to that. And like it goes from one crazy thing to the other. Like I came back from Bali and then I suddenly shot at that festival and suddenly I'm flying in a helicopter in Mykonos. And I'm like, what is life? And at some point, like the curve just goes up and so many achievements along the way. But at some point, you're like, I've done everything I've ever dreamed about, or like all the goals you set to yourself. Like, what's next? And especially in our young age, like, wait, how old are you? I think I've never asked you that.
25.
25. Like, at our young age, it's like, that's stuff like people never experience in their entire life. And then, like, finding the balance, doing some like dopamine detox. I mean, we're in a super privileged space to talk about this. Like, I think
Absolutely.
we're both super grateful that we were able to experience all these things. But I think like it's still like dopamine is like a physical reaction in your body, and yeah,
Absolutely.
finding the balance and like to see how this works out and how you don't end up like with like doing drugs like so many big DJs, for example, like they've went this high and they don't know what to do after this anymore. So
That's
yeah,
so true. I mean, you're so right, but how did you manage then to control this like dopamine kick or high?
I think exactly what I'm doing right now, just like staying in one place and figuring it out along the way. Just like meditating, just social distancing also works a lot to like get a different view on your inner world. And yeah, how do you feel about that? Like dopamine, has it ever like
Right.
affected your the way you think about like a lot of things, and like how did you balance that?
Of course, like especially when you start to make some money, you just freak out. You just buy you just buy things, you just buy experiences, you just buy travels and holidays and good times with your friends. I mean, everybody says also that money doesn't make you happy. In first line, it doesn't, but in second line, it does because without money, you couldn't do or afford everything. Um, and now that I came back to Germany, I was like also already observing myself, and I was expecting like a super um, crazy summer, like 2 weeks in Portugal, 2 weeks in Greece, then getting a yacht, then doing this and that. And I was like, no, like I can't. I really need to just focus and get into my routine. And what I've seen, like once you get over a certain level of dopamine or money level, you just come back to yourself. Like you
Uh-huh.
enjoy so much that at one point you're like, this all is cool, but what really counts is your inner peace, your routine, your stress levels. So what I care most about is like just me being super imbalanced. I don't like having any stressful thoughts or feelings. So whenever something comes up, I like observe it, analyze it, and work on it. Um, so this is why I prioritize this than just getting the dopamine kick because I know this will, I don't know, I'm just like trying to observe why I want to do something. Is it because I'm escaping something? Is it because I need social context because I feel alone or something? Um, so I've been just getting more observative. How do you say?
Observative,
Observative. I've
I
been just
think.
getting more observative or cautious with the things I do. Um, because I always check for the why for this action. Because many people like getting a watch, getting a fast car seems to be cool. But if
And
you
that is
see,
cool for sure. Like, especially if
sure.
you see it like from the outside, yeah.
But if you get a car just because you need to brag and just to build up your ego, it's not the right move. Like, I would never do that. And this is the point I got to, like, I don't need anything like super extra to just be happy. So I'm like super happy walking around to Tulum, chilling, sweating, and eating. But sure, I enjoy like the big things, you know?
For sure.
So I always just like really think of like, is it really, do I really want
What
it? Is it useful? And why do I want it?
and what
This,
gives you purpose in life, kind of?
what gives me
Because I
purpose?
feel like there's so many different, like talking about the dopamine thing, I feel like there's different types of dopamine, like the toxic dopamine that we're talking about with like chasing experiences and things and money and all these crazy things.
Yeah.
And then there's like healthy dopamine you get like through working out. So like helping other people and growing
Yeah.
mentally. So how do you
This is
balance that?
those 2 points exactly. Like developing myself, like getting the best version out of me, because I'm a Scorpio. So I love going deep into my topics. Also like into psychology. So what I really love, what gives me energy is analyzing myself, analyzing other people, helping other people. Because many people have, or everybody has their own blind spots. And I love just to check on them and to get them on a new level, on a higher level, so that they can grow mentally, financially, in business, personal life, love life, and relationships. This is what gives me a lot of energy and also living my creativity. This is why I'm still doing here and there video stuff. And I love to do just videos or being creative. I never post something which is like whack. Like if I post something, I wanted to put in some effort, some heart, some love. And I think those 3 parts are the things that really give me energy. And of course, being Taurus and Moon and Ascendant, like I love food.
Who
Just
does that?
food and a lot of money. I mean, money, I wouldn't say that it fulfills me like it did a year ago or 2 years ago, but still, like, I love this lifestyle and this just having the freedom. This is what also like,
Yeah, I think that's also what it's about, like freedom and like kind
yeah,
of the experiences
yeah,
you can get
yeah,
with it for sure. Yeah.
right. Especially just gifting them to beloved people, friends, your partner, your family, just telling them like, hey, let's go to this event, or let's fly to Colombia, let's fly to Mexico, let's go to the beach, let's get some crazy ass food like they've never had before. This is what really fills me up, and this is what I also like love to work for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Just
you? Where do you
freedom
see
as a word.
your positive dopamine?
My positive dopamine. I think working out helps me really a lot. Like
Oh yes.
I wasn't in that workout routine like a year ago, but now since I'm like here and also like focused more on exactly these kind of topics, I feel like
Okay.
really in a routine with that. And that's like one way to get my mind free, which is really good. Then meditating. I'm reading this book from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'm like also doing his meditations, which help me a lot to like focus on like positive energy and frequency and like maybe if something is not going as I imagine it to be, not like to focus always on the bad things and like get in a bad mood like I used to in Germany especially. But yeah, I think like the way you see things, whatever like how bad it is, or could be minor problems, but it's always like the attention and meaning you put to things and then what you make from that.
Absolutely. Like this is also a reason why I'm super, super cautious with people, because I don't like when they stress about like every little thing. It's crazy. Like little things happen and they get stressed out. They get angry. They get mad. And I'm like, observe it. You can't change anything. You can just change your perspective, how you said it. So what I always do, which could help somebody here or maybe you, is always like to observe the situation. Always detach yourself because you're not in the situation. You're just observing the situation. And then you ask yourself, like, can you change it or not? If you can change it, do it. If you can't change it, ask yourself, like, does it help me to get mad, sad, or angry or stressed? In 100%, the answer will be no. So the only option is just to accept it. And once you really implement that and learn that, you're like so resilient to everything that happens. Like there's nothing that stressed me out. Like last year, I think I got stressed like 2 times, like really stressed, and
Wow.
that's it. But like
That's an art to also to learn, because I feel
it
like
is.
as humans we're like designed to always think like in survival mode, and whenever there's a good situation we're always subconsciously on the outlook for like problems that could be in that situation. But I feel like recognizing that and being aware of that is what changed the most for me, because yeah, that's just like psychological patterns.
That's the point. That's the point, to see them, to analyze them, and to optimize them, because it really helps you. But I've seen also a lot of people in business that depend on the revenue. So they depend their emotions depend from the revenue and the poor performance of the business. And I'm like, how will you do great today if you're sad and mad and angry and hangry? If your revenue is at 10K a day instead of 20K, like you can't depend from that. You have to
Okay.
detach, just observe and act on it. Like there's no reason to be mad. And if you implement that and also other patterns, you cannot fail in life
I
because
feel like
you're the controller, you're the creator then.
mhm. I feel like that's really similar to the filmmaking space also, especially
Right.
because like creativity is like so intertwined with like the way you see the world and like how you capture it and present it. And there's a lot of other filmmakers I've spoken to about this topic as well, that you're like kind of attaching your ego to how well your work is going. And that's such a toxic way to do it, because like if you're successful your ego might like boost, but if you're not, you have like insane amount of self-doubts. But in the end it's just like it's a logical kind of thing. Like you might have acted right in some situations and like just don't know the way how to like properly like market yourself, but there's like a way you can grow into that. So it's like really seeing that from like a different kind of perspective.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm definitely learning as well. Like it's a long process, but what helped you to detach from that? What would you say helped you to?
Uh, Actually, just stepping out of your mind, because also like with thoughts and emotions, it is an advanced technique, I know, and it's not easy, but in the end, like if you think something or feel something, what I always do is like imagining that there is like one guy in my head sitting, which is telling me like, oh, don't go to the gym, it's too hot, don't go to the gym, it's too cold, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, okay, that's not me thinking it. It's like just my subconscious or someone who's trying to damage me. So I step out of my mind, of my body, and observe this. And I'm like, oh, this guy is telling me not to go to the gym. You know what? I'm gonna go to the gym, bitch. Like this. And
So you're kind
then,
of watching yourself and
yeah,
speak about yourself as a different character.
yes.
That's
And
crazy. I've that's the first time I'm like hearing properly about like somebody implementing this technique. But it's super interesting. Like if you have like any tips on like how to do that like on a frequent basis, is it like just like doing it repeatedly and becoming better at it? Or
it is just repeating it, literally repeating it and using every situation. Like if you miss the bus, if you just spilled the tea, if you just crash your phone, just observe it. Like don't stress out because it won't repair the screen, which is broken. Just like step out and watch the situation. What I always say, like people always are too attached to their problems, to their situations, to their facts.
Yeah.
Let it be a relationship thing. I don't even see it anymore as this personal, because I see it. I have this little thing here. I just see it as this cap, which I just take, put in the middle of us, and say like, "Hey, Julie, that's the situation. That's a problem. Like, look at it. It's looking like this. It happened. This happened here. This happened there. What do you think? How did it come to it?"
Uh-huh.
And then I just try to describe it. What helps me is to just journal. Just write down what happened. How did this happen? So you can watch it. This is
Uh-huh.
actually the physical technique of that. Like, you take the situation on the paper so you can watch it yourself. Because if it's in your mind, you can't watch it. So you
Uh-huh.
need to step out. And then I just take this, look at it. I'm like, oh, we need to fix those two things, maybe this one here. And then the cap is perfect. And then I just take it back. So I just don't take it personally. Just try to write it down, observe it, describe it. I think it's about describing it
Uh-huh.
and not reacting to it, because you decide if you want to react positively or negatively.
Or
And
what
then one,
might make you anxious about the situation? Do you write that down as well? Like your fears and your. Okay.
of course, like, I'm now in a state where my mind and my heart are like so clean that I feel like the slightest change of anxiousness, of anxiety, fear. So what I would do before I get into a call, get out of the house, is just to analyze it. Even though I don't know why it came up, because sure, in daily life you experience like a lot of topics, a lot of situations, a lot of conversations. Then I just sit down, write down how I feel, what happened. Maybe something came up in our conversation. Maybe something came up in the train before. Maybe something came up in my personal WhatsApp chat. So I would just write down several things that happened. And then you feel like, boom, it's gone. And then you're like,
Mhm.
I think the feeling came up because Julie mentioned something which remembered me of this and this situation. And I haven't cleared the situation with this person, you know?
Our human brains are so crazy. I feel like we implement like one thought to the next, and it's like also intertwined. But like, for example, when somebody's having a bad day or like giving you a bad response, you always take it like usually subconsciously, personally. Wow, that was 3 adjectives in one sentence. Um, but I would say like you never know the backstory or like what has happened in their minds and day before. So yeah, I feel like the first thing is to be aware of that, no matter what might be happening, like in whichever
Absolutely.
situation. Or like
There,
client shoots, if you get like feedback, not to reply instantly when it's like revisions you don't fully agree with, just like wait an hour and like detach yourself before you're like screaming at the client. Yeah.
literally, literally. Like, this is something, oof, I switch my perceptions on that, because I've been talking with a good friend in Tulum about that, because in the end, the whole reality is just a reflection of yourself. Like, you're reflecting me, I'm reflecting you. So when I would be in a bad mood, you might be in a bad mood too. But then also what you said, like, not,
Thanks.
um, but like when somebody shouts at me or would call me something bad, like, there's no other option for me, and it comes naturally just to smile, because I know, like, hey, this person is suffering from something, or I just said something which hurt them,
Mm-hmm.
or which they didn't understand. And then I like,
Well, it is what
nothing,
it is. Yeah.
nothing affects me. People could tell me anything. People could do me anything. I'm like, okay, I know exactly because, or why you're doing this. It's because you have this and this trauma, this and this issue. You want to reach this and this, but you haven't because I did this and that. So this is why you're telling me that. Like, come on, give me
Yeah.
something constructively and not just your self-defense from the ego, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is also like observing, because I have one client, which is my coaching. He also said, like, Alex, he told me this and that because I told him this. I was like, yeah, but it's not about you. You're just trying to grow, and he tells you this and that because he feels like attacked or maybe in danger. He doesn't talk about you. He's talking about himself,
Yeah.
but applies it on you. So just don't get affected from it, because
Yeah.
it
It's
doesn't bring
just a
it.
reflection of your inner world, like whatever it is. Like even client feedback, for example, that's like one thing where you could refer on. If somebody tells you, hey, can you change this and the song and this, you attach it directly to you being a bad creative or whatever. But it's like the logical reason behind of it is because it might not work marketing wise, or they might not just like personally like the song, but it has nothing to do like personally with you. And that's like what applies to all kind of life situations.
Literally.
That's like one massive thing we need to be just so
Yeah.
aware of. And that
Yeah.
just helps keep like your mind
Yeah.
clear and positive energy. I feel like, yeah.
Completely. And honestly, like, this is one thing I started off with my spiritual and mindset journey 5 years ago. And it is still my biggest power, like just to observe and not to be attached to anything, and just to take it like something which you improve, and boom, that's it. Because you have like so low or so high chill levels. You don't get stressed. You're always in a good mood. I mean, imagine you would stress out about everything what happens. You would be like in such a low frequency all day long. How will you be able to go to the gym, have good relationships, work out perfectly, and perform in your business if you're like stressed from everything?
Yeah, and it's like it's so
And not
intertwined, like mindset, spirituality, if you call it like that, and business, like so
literally
intertwined. Yeah.
like business. I don't know how you see it, but business for me has been one of the most spiritual things ever, because it challenged me so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, just like life experience itself. I definitely had like some moments where I started seeing or the world or life itself like really differently. Like last year in Bali, um it was pretty crazy. Like from one day to the other, my whole reality kind of like shifted, because I just like saw so many like details in nature and like overall like the world around me, and I was like, life is so beautiful if you just like live in the present moment and focus on the right things. And I feel like that's just like the main thing, like focusing on what you want to focus on, and being clear about like positivity. And yeah.
What happened there that it changed within a day?
I don't want to talk about this in a podcast.
Okay.
Did a mushroom trip. That's it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's a topic for itself, and that's so crazy. There's so much potential, so much power in that. Like, there are people, especially in the marketing e-commerce industry, we don't have to go deep into it, but they hate on that. They hate the people that go to Tulum, do breath work, do mushrooms, do weed, do this and that. And I'm like, guys, you're only saying that because you're so fucking scared of yourself. Like, you think spirituality is like something gay or such a trend, but it's not. They just protect themselves from seeing or facing their darkest sides. Because mushrooms, weed, LSD, if you take it wisely, will show you everything you need to see and to know in order to grow and let go. And it's crazy. But
it's a whole other topic, but
it is.
You could literally talk about this for like 2 hours. But yeah, it's honestly, it's crazy, very eye opening.
Yeah. But I love that. This is like something I've been also observing with myself. Whenever I see something like small and beautiful, I love just to, now in Mexico City, after the gym, like I go to the gym 6 a.m., 6:30, come back at 8 a.m. So the sun is rising, everything is like so nice and slow and beautiful.
Mhm.
and then I see some birds and just observe them and talk to them. I'm like so fucking happy. I mean, it's so weird and
I
stupid,
swear,
but
focus is everything. But like
literally,
not drifting too much into that, because like I feel like also like speaking about manifestation, there's so many people who are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be lying in bed for 5 days and just gonna manifest that I'm gonna get rich and get a fucking car and travel the world. Like that's not how manifestation works.
yeah, yeah, it is the start, but you really have to put in the effort, put in the work, because if not, you will not match it. That's
Yeah.
so true. Talking about manifestation, what would you say was like the biggest, most impressive thing you ever manifested?
Okay, this is a story I never told before, and it's kind of crazy. So it used to be my dream to like work for beautiful destinations and have like I had all these crazy pictures from like the travel filmmakers on my vision board every single day, and yeah, working for beautiful destinations was one big thing. And then you probably know Sam Calder.
Was it?
He's yeah, and he has this one master class that's called Calder Creative, and every year he's doing like a my year contest, which is I think the biggest contest he does like every year and gives you like a lot of recognition in like the travel film space. And my biggest goals were like to manifest beautiful destinations and winning that contest. And it's kind of funny because I recorded like I was like, okay, manifestation, I know about this. I kind of want to try it. And I literally recorded like a video of myself where I said, life is so crazy. I started working with beautiful destinations. I won the Year contest, and end of the year, I'm moving to Bali. And I really put myself into the mental headspace of like having this goal accomplished.
Yeah.
And literally 2 months later, I was on my first shoot with BD, and the first night I was there on the shoot, I won the Year contest, and my entire life changed in like 2 days. And yeah, it's crazy. And then I moved to Bali. So
That's shame. That's insane. That's crazy.
yeah.
How did you feel? Like you said, a word 2 months. I think many people want it like instantly. How did you
Mhm.
feel in this period of time? Was it like a emotional journey roller coaster, or were you like always sure about it will happen?
Actually, okay, in the beginning, I was like, this is definitely going to happen. I'm so convinced about this.
Mhm.
But actually, the time I was least expecting it, like something happened and I was like, okay, they picked someone else. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be working out. And then, like, when I was at that mental state and like started doubting myself, 4 days later, it actually came true. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And it's like, of course, you can like say you've worked for it and like you've thought about this and thought about like a concept and whatever, but like I went into this with the intention to
Yeah.
achieve the certain things, and I started adjusting my actions, probably also subconsciously, to achieve these exact certain goals by knowing how it feels like having this accomplishment already in your life. And I feel like that's what helped me subconsciously the most, and that's also like how manifestation works. It's just like feeling how it would feel like having that thing accomplished. Well, my English.
I
Yeah, and that's what helps you just like subconsciously to act in a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. Those are, I think, the two most important parts, which you just mentioned. And also what you mentioned before when you told me that you changed or that your life changed within one day, that everything was like beautiful instantly. This is the magic of like quantum physics. Like you literally can do a quantum leap because everything is like energy. This is why I have it like tattooed here. Everything is energy, everything is like little particles, atoms. And if you change this frequency, and if you are in this frequency of like already achieving it, then boom, your reality changed instantly. This is like literally crazy. And it's sometimes hard, like, especially if you are attached too much with your mind, with your rational thoughts, and you don't see it in your physical world,
Mhm.
but you want to see it in your like inner world, spiritual world. It's like super hard sometimes, but this is like exact the point where you have to work on. This like
For sure.
holding the frequency and letting go. Letting go is
2 questions on that. First
Mhm.
of all, as I mentioned earlier, it happened when I least expected it. What do you think is the reason why this is so interconnected? Like when you start losing the belief in it, that it comes back to you. And secondly, I really want to talk to you about quantum physics more and like about the book. I think I mentioned it earlier, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yeah, but maybe the first topic first. And I'm going to switch on my light because it's...
It is always like this. Like when you least expect it, or when you just let go, it comes to you because you're forcing something when you really want it. I mean, manifesting is about like wanting something, but you always have to consider the reason why you want it. Like you could have manifested out of a deep black hole that you're like in a creative hole where you are super exhausted. You don't want to work anymore, but you just want to do BD because of X, Y, Z. And then, the universe is like, nah, not going to happen because you really want it. And in the end, it's about attracting it and not pushing it. And then I've seen it too, like with manifesting projects, money, people. Whenever you let go and detach, this is the point where you really trust that's going to happen. Because if you're rationally always thinking about it and trying to pull it in your life, it means that it's not there already.
Mhm.
And then it's not there yet. Because I wouldn't manifest
True.
a Porsche Turbo S if it would be already in front of my house, right?
Yeah, and then
So,
you start acting in a way of lack, like of not having it. Yeah.
right. That's a way. That's the thing. Like this frequency of lack. But it's always like when you let go, when you detach, it's like a mix of okay, you wanted it or you try to manifest it. You told the universe like, hey, I want this and that.
Okay.
You also tell it like, hey, I wanted it, but I'm good like this because I already have it spiritually. And then it's
Mhm.
like, here you go. But if you keep thinking and thinking and thinking of it, like in a way of, oh, I need it and I need it and I want it and I want it so bad because I need to impress people or I need to, I don't know,
Mhm.
then it's gonna come.
Yeah, it's also like the energy you give off. Like I feel like I've noticed that a lot in like friendships and relationships with other people. It's like once you start thinking you're not deserving of something, you also start subconsciously acting like that to other people. So like for example, if you think you seem like you're not confident to other people, or it's always a reflection of your inner will to other people, which is
Completely.
yeah,
But
crazy.
see, I don't know if it happens to you, but what I've been observing is like when my energy is like super high, like especially Mexico City, when I wake up, have a good breakfast, went to the gym, good work sessions, all that shit. And I walk into a room, walk into a co-working space, walk into the gym, like all eyes are on me. It's crazy and it sounds like arrogant, but it's literally like that because your frequency is like so high.
Mhm.
And this is what you tell yourself. Like people see if you feel like worthy about yourself or not.
Mhm.
Feel
Always. It's crazy
you
actually. You can
have
look incredible physically, but like if you don't feel confident and don't give off the right energy, it's like
bye.
yeah, bye.
Literally. And then
Literally.
yeah. And this is what you also have to imply or I say, anwenden,
Imply, yeah.
imply. And this is also what you have to imply, like manifesting. You have to feel worthy about it. You have to feel sure. You have to feel confident. You have to feel like you are the one who deserves this. And if you
Mhm.
don't feel like it, you won't get it.
Mhm.
And this
Mindset.
also like manifest a business class with Emirates. out of a sudden, projects, people, like
Mm-hmm.
when you really feel and own your shit,
Mm-hmm.
like in a bold way, in a positive way. This is
Yeah,
when you attract that.
it's crazy. Sometimes I like, it sounds weird, but like sometimes I had these moments where I was like scared of manifesting the wrong things. So like for example, I was sitting on my scooter and like a guy passed me and nearly hit me. And from that moment on I was so scared of like manifesting a scooter crash because I just had it in my brain all the time. But that's the toxic way to see it.
That's a toxic way, but that's the power. You can literally manifest everything you want. Like it
Mhm.
has their positive ways and negative sides.
For sure, for
So
sure.
it has all the sides. But you
But
wanted to
it's
ask something else about the quantum
not certainly ask, but like overall, like talk about like a book.
list.
I don't know if you've read it, Becoming Supernatural,
Not yet.
Dr. Joe. Big recommendation. I'm halfway through now,
Mhm.
and I can give you a quick summary, like what it's talking about. Some people might think it's crazy, but I personally do believe in it, and I think everybody's trying to find an explanation for themselves how the world works and why we're here. So maybe that's like a little part of the explanation I was searching for, but basically he's teaching people how to heal themselves or like change their life by changing their frequency. And he's like, Dr. Joe Dispenza himself was fully paralyzed. I don't know if you know his backstory, but he completely healed himself. Like the doctors told him that he will never ever be able to walk again. And he healed himself by changing his frequency and like detaching himself from his physical body. And there's so many other success stories in that area. And I feel like that's such a interesting topic to focus on because that goes away from like the basic manifestation part and goes way deeper into like understanding frequencies and the way,
Genetically.
yeah,
Have
it's insane.
you, I mean, this topic is so huge. Like all those, wie sagt man, Krankheiten?
Diseases.
Diseases. Like most of the diseases people get, it's not even like something physically or from biology. It's because you're suppressing emotions. It's because you're suppressing your passions. It's because you're suppressing your personality, because you're having too much stress. And in the end, you already know like the mind is connected to your gut. And
Mhm.
your gut feeling always tells you if it's right or wrong. And if you're stressed, you always get problems with your gut. And this is like the
Stress
first
is a low frequency. Yeah.
completely low
Yeah.
frequency. And this affects like the whole body. I have friends and also the grandpa of my best friend. He also survived cancer with the same exact method. Like the doctors were telling him like, it's done. You have
Mhm.
10 days. And he was like, no,
10
I'm
days.
something, I don't know. Like he hadn't much to live. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna die. Like, screw you, all of you doctors, I'm not gonna die. And he was repeating and repeating and repeating himself that he's gonna survive because you also have to tell it to yourself like in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Mhm.
Um, and in the end, he did survive because he just implemented into his subconscious. He elevated the frequency of his health, and then the whole body just healed. And it's
That's
crazy.
that's honestly like so crazy. Like I watched one of the videos on the website as well, and it's like people saying like this is just like trash or whatever they want to talk about. And I think mindset, our mind is like the most powerful thing
It
ever.
is. It is.
And like just like on the base of like whatever we just talked about. And yeah, it's crazy. Like also similar to the story you just talked about, like that one woman in the video, I think her husband killed himself and suddenly she started getting cancer in her entire body, but she also like said, no, I'm not gonna die from this. Like the doctors told her like 1 month to live or something. She couldn't even walk anymore. And she started doing the meditations, working on her belief systems, detaching herself from her physical body. And suddenly she was like, literally, like a year after, not even, no, half a year after, she was completely healed. And that's insane. And like that can apply to like so many life areas. Like attracting different things, people in your life. And I feel like since I'm more interested about these kind of topics, I'm also like attracting way more people who think in a similar way, have more deeper conversations about this, attract inspiring people with more like higher energy. So it's like, it's so interesting. It's actually crazy.
Have you ever experienced something that your body was telling you something which was going on in your life or in your mind, and then that you healed yourself?
I think it's like, it's a lot combined with stress, for me at least.
Yeah.
And I definitely had like some like physical problems, but like nothing bad, like nothing super bad or crazy, but definitely in more stressful situations, I'm usually getting sick after that. Like when my body comes into that rest state, I feel like before it's like the survival mode and like pushing through, but after I'm usually getting like sick. Like I
When I,
was 6 weeks shooting like 2 months ago, like straight every single day, and then I came to Bali. Literally, once the stress fell down, I was sick for like 3 weeks straight.
the what? That's
Yeah.
insane. That's insane. Yeah, this is like the science. This is crazy. This is crazy. But it's actually true. Like, it was a topic in my surroundings and also like for me that my body was like telling me things that were going on in my life. How you just told it with Dr. Joe Spencer. And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because I've never had any problems with my skin or I'm never sick or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then in certain moments where it was like personally super tough and complicated, my body showed me like there's something going on, that I had like weird stuff on my skin getting out, or when I told you that I had like the Mandelentzündung. Uh,
Tonsillitis. I frequently have
yeah,
that.
that's what. Without any AC, nothing. And then like I just look into what is going on. It applies perfectly to the life situation of like not telling people my opinion or like getting stressed emotionally, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, most people would go to the doctor. I don't like that. I don't like medicine. I heal myself only like with my thoughts. And then when I had all this
That's
shit,
crazy.
which I never had, I'm like, just what I told you, journaling, observing, looking what is going on. Why might I have this and that issue with my body, with my health?
Mm-hmm.
Act on it, and boom, it's gone. And when you tell
That's
yourself, like,
that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into that because I feel like sometimes it's probably good to see a doctor and see like your
of course,
actual
yeah,
condition.
sure, sure, sure,
Like not to say that you could like completely hear yourself every single time and whatever, but it has a powerful influence to overall
right,
say that. That's what I would say. Yeah.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm doing super sick and have a lot of headache, I will also take like some medicine to just chill, right? But it's about like the doctor just gives you the medicine to cure the surface,
Yeah.
but not the symptom. I know.
Not the
You
deeper
just,
level cells
right,
and
the
the
source.
source.
And
Yeah.
if you really go like deep energetically into it, you can cure the source. And then sure, you can act on the symptoms, but it's always like in your mind. It's all in your mind. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane,
Alright.
honestly. But
It's
going from that, I feel like we're super deep in the like health and like energy, frequency. Like also like as a value for like the audience, for the listeners, I would say, do you have like any specific tips that people can focus on if they want to create a specific dream or life for themselves? Like just like certain, or even for yourself, like if you set yourself a goal, what's like the first steps you take towards that?
have clarity and the
Mhm.
vision and the why. Like if you don't have clarity where you're going to the airport, which plane are you going to take? Like you can't say I want to go to Bali, and then you just don't know which plane to take, right? So first it's like always to have clarity. What do I want? When do I want it? How much do I want it? Like quantify it. And have a vision, because like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, emotion creates motion and motion creates emotion. Like if I'm in a good mood, I will think good, I will think positively, I will act good, I will go to the gym, I will work on myself, I will work on the business. So the perfect step to get into this positive cycle is just to have a vision board or a vision video of everything you desire. And then also to have a strong why, because as we talked about it, there will be a lot of times which are dark, which are not that beautiful as they seem to be on Instagram. And to go through those dark phases, you need to have a strong why. Like if your why is to be a millionaire, this is not strong enough because it's nothing big. Sure, if you grew up poor, might be a big why, but it's not a why, because the why has to be like something emotional that brings your
like freedom and like security,
right,
all these
that
kind of
brings
things.
yourselves into some specific frequency where you can take the discipline out of it. I think those 3 steps, and really just work on yourself, stick through it, learn, observe, and don't give up, because in the end, I've met a lot of millionaires and their skill is just not to give up. It's literally that.
And what I would probably add to that is like seeing yourself being capable of achieving it, like believing that you can do it, because that's like the mindset where it all starts from.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the hardest part actually about everything, because you're gonna find like these little breadcrumbs along the way where you're gonna like grow and get into the next phase of like believing it's actually possible. Like when I started out with filmmaking, I could have never seen myself like being a travel filmmaker, and then like taking these steps, going on these trips, connecting with people who've already achieved it, who I could like see that it's possible to do it. Like these are the things that help me to achieve it on the long run. And it's just like little breadcrumbs along the way you follow. I feel like I love to see it as like
yeah. Actually, that's a very huge point. The mindset, like the belief in it, is way, way more important than the strategy behind it. Because if you don't believe in it, how will you make it happen? It doesn't matter.
And you can change the strategy.
Right. And you can always adapt. And even though, imagine I will give you the perfect strategy to do $1 million this year with your e-commerce. If you don't think it's possible, it's not going to be possible. And I had a project where someone, it was a multi-million dollar thing, and he didn't believe in it. Like from the start, from the beginning, he didn't believe in it, and sure, it doesn't work. Like even though you know strategy-wise it would work.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the mindset for it, if you're not ready for this amount of money, if you're not ready for this impact or this change in your life, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think this is the biggest point. See yourself already there and act like it. Feel it.
Surround yourself with people who've already achieved it.
Yes. That's a huge, just also like the biggest impact. Just have this influence of people, good mindset, push.
Direct community, so important also.
What would you say of all those, which one helped you the most to become the current version of yourself?
Mindset and community, for sure. Like mindset, achieving the mindset along the way, like that is possible. And then community, just like people who are opening my eyes.
Yeah.
And show me the ways on how it can go, and like the little steps you can take along the way. Because there's just, I feel like to this certain goal, like whatever goal it is, you have so many ways to achieve it. But it's always good to see how other people did it, and like to be in their energy and to surround yourself with them, because you can always learn something new. Yeah. And like last year we did like this crazy I did like a creator event for my birthday in Bali. And there were like so many friends also from Germany coming, like just flying here. And they've never been to Bali, and they saw it for the first time, and they were like, wow, this is crazy. I didn't know this is like a way of life you could live, and started getting super inspired, connecting, shooting. And I feel like community is such a powerful thing. That's also like why we're doing it again this year, because it's like, I feel like it's so nice to help other people to shift
Yep.
their view on reality and like to achieve their dreams. And
Yeah,
it's a great
absolutely.
mixture.
Absolutely. They're so toxic bubbles, but if you're in a very healthy bubble who's open and ready to support you, there's nothing more beautiful than that. There's nothing more
For
beautiful.
sure.
I think in the end you attract them. Like if you're
Yeah.
nice, if you're always willing to help, you will attract those people.
Mhm.
But it's like so essential. That's true.
Yeah. And nowadays it's so easy to network over Instagram and like social media, and like just texting someone, hey, you inspire me. It's like, it's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
yeah,
should do
crazy.
that right now. If they have like
Yeah,
a
just
Twitter, just
text
text them.
people on Latin songs and stories. That's what you do.
That was perfect. It
Funny.
was so random. But this is where I always trust the universe. Like afterwards I was like, why did I text you actually? Like, what the fuck? It
I think
just
it's
came
funny.
like it just came natural, you know?
Yeah.
But that's always the point. So everybody text Julie right now on Instagram so she gets spammed.
Let's go. Engagements, please.
Everybody report her. And
Oh
yeah,
my God. No, I
that's
think that was
I love that.
actually a good way to summarize this whole thing also.
Yes.
I think this was a really beautiful conversation. I'm sure we're gonna connect very soon in person as well.
We will.
But I really
And
appreciate you sharing your insights about all these topics. I feel like even if we're aligned on so many things, we both have like different experiences in so many topics. So I think that was a really valuable conversation.
yeah, I'm super grateful that we did it, for your insights too, and hope that also our audience will get something from it. I think everybody can. And then let's see where we will see us for the next podcast too.
Yeah, let's honestly do it. And I hope I see
Let-
some of you guys in Bali. Gonna post
I hope
updates
so.
very soon.
Love it.
Sick.
Awesome. Thank you a lot. Wish you a very nice day in Bali. I
Thank
hope
you,
it's
likewise.
in Germany. Thank you.
In Germany. Yeah, it's any good
Then-
weather. The weather is shit, by the way. It's like,
Oh, perfect. I think we switched. We switched now.
okay,
And then
sending you
see
some
you
sunny
soon.
energy.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna add Alex's social tags in the comment section.
Right.
And yeah,
Subscription, like, share, follow, everything.
all of it. All right. See you guys. Thanks for joining, and I hope I see you guys soon for the next podcast episode. Have a beautiful day.